Hi there, welcome back to the Purple House news. This week we're going to talk about digestion because so many people have digestive issues and they don't realize that this is actually the root cause of the problems that they come to us with. So we're Grada and Peter, co-owners of a successful wellness center with a 25-year track record of excellence in Tasmania. Right, so today I want to share a funny story with you about one of my clients who came to me because her hair, she was losing a lot of hair. Also her nails were very brittle and she noticed her eyesight was also not as good as it used to be. In fact, it was kind of declining rapidly. And so when I looked into her issues together, we did that. When she came to me for a session, I realized she wasn't making enough hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid is stomach acid. And that meant that her body wasn't getting the building blocks, and she'd probably been like that for many, many years. And her body probably just ran out of all the resources, like the nutrients that it had stockpiled in the pantry. And consequently, she started to lose her hair, her nails weren't strong anymore, and so on. The good news is that Pete and I have seen many hundreds, if not thousands of people like her, and so I know that within a couple of weeks her hair will start to come back and her nails will be incredibly strong again and everything will turn around for her. So Peter also has a story a bit like that.
I have a client who came to me because of chronic indigestion, reflux type stuff, and
heartburn.
And after doing the testing that I do, it was mainly due to bile flow not happening properly.
Okay.
And
I remember that.
He started enzymes and beet flow and a little bit of betaine HCl, which is also in Proton Plus that we're going to mention. And he rang me, it was a month or so later, and he said he hasn't had any more reflux. And blow me down, he said, blow me down, my PSA levels have dropped. He had been having trouble with high PSA levels and I'd dropped by about half, about 4 points. Yeah.
That's a really, but for people...
And it was his digestion wasn't working properly. Yeah.
For people who don't know what PSA readings are, can you just explain what it is?
PSA levels they are markers for enlarged prostate in men. So,
and that actually there is like an epidemic of men and it starts younger and younger who have prostate problems or prostate issues, and if as young as 40 these days. So this actually goes, everyone should be listening to this, right? So by the time you have prostate problems, it's not really caused by prostate. It's caused by all the mechanisms in your body behind it that are broken down. And so we're talking about the stuff that you eat that goes into your stomach. If your stomach doesn't have enough hydrochloric acid or stomach acid, everything, it's like a domino effect that affects your whole digestion. So just to make it really, really clear, your stomach acid in 99% of digestive issues, you don't have enough stomach acid. Not that you have too much, because people think, oh, my stomach is burning, I have this burning feeling, I have too much.
They get reflux and they think they've got too much acid.
And then if you go to the doctor or the chemist or watch TV or Google it, often people will say it's from too much stomach acid. So here is some antacid they're called. They're the most sought after over-the-counter drug, apparently. So it's a huge industry behind it that's earning the big pharmas billions, quadrillions of dollars every year. So they're not going to inform you properly. Probably only 1% of the time that it's from too much stomach acid, which you may as well ignore that fact, all right?
Well, what causes the reflux is you're not having enough hydrochloric acid in your stomach, so the bacteria that are on the food that we eat don't get killed, and
They
then
proliferate.
they start fermenting the food that's in your stomach that's not breaking down well, produce gas, and then we get burping, bloating, burping, and reflux.
Also, it just keeps sitting in your stomach like a lump of like a brick, because actually your body is super smart, super intelligent, and it knows, it's not ready to let it go to the next port of call, right, into your small intestine, because it's going to create distress in your body. So it just keeps it in the stomach for as long as possible, because it knows that it's not even cooked properly, right? But anyway, in the end your body has to let it go, so now it goes into your small intestine and it's not really properly prepared.
The acid in our stomach is meant to be the same acidic consistency of carboxylic acid, really. It's hydrochloric acid. I'm not sure whether you've ever watched Breaking Bad or drug cartel movies, but they get rid of their opponents' bodies in hydrochloric acid baths. It dissolves
everything.
Bodies. And we throw big lumps of meat down into our stomach and they are meant to dissolve with the hydrochloric acid. So our stomach is like that acid bath that the drug cartel people are using.
Yeah, it's like a miracle in its own, because actually your own stomach cells can withstand that level of acidity. It's like an acid fire. That's your first line of protection. It's also meant to kill worms. It's meant to kill viruses, bacteria, dirt, all sorts of things. It's your protection. But if you kill the fire, you're left without protection. Also, you're stuck. Stomach starts to grow, you start to get inflammation, lots of other things start to go wrong in your body.
And often stomach ulcers, which they are caused by bacteria that hasn't been killed due to not enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach.
Anyway, so then it drops into the small intestine, which is really the sorting table. This is where your body goes, all right, that's good, I hang on to that. That can go into the bloodstream, that can give Peter energy, that can rebuild your cells. And this is rubbish, that then goes into the small intestine.
Most of the fibre is rubbish.
Yeah, all right, lots of rubbish. We all have lots of rubbish in our body, don't get me wrong, because of our lifestyle and so on, and that needs to go down into the toilet. So, but before that can happen, when you start eating and chewing your food, your stomach is preparing the fire, and then your liver is also preparing bile, right? Your liver actually creates something like 750 mils of bile a day, which is like a small jug full, right, of yellowy greeny substance that's meant to be runny and flowy, and that gets put into the gallbladder. And while it's in the gallbladder, it becomes even more caustic, so that's very alkaline or caustic. And so then when the stomach content drops into the small intestine, your liver and the gallbladder gives a big squeeze of bile onto all of it to neutralize the stomach acid.
Because a small bowel likes to be neutral pH. It doesn't like to be acid or alkaline.
That's right. It's like that experiment you did at school where you had to put baking soda onto vinegar onto baking soda, and it creates a sizzle. And this is called the chemistry of life. The sizzle is actually called the chemistry of life. And it makes you feel warm and satisfied, and nutrients are exploded, and then your body is good. Like your eyes can. Why do people, by the way, sometimes have good eyesight and other days not so good? I know why, but let me just explain it to you.
The muscles of the eyes are the smallest muscles in the body, and all our muscles need amino acids, which are the breakdown of proteins. And that's broken down in the stomach, and then when it hits the small bowel, that explosion breaks it down even further to the smallest possible particles. And if we're not digesting proteins properly, we're not getting the amino acids for our muscles, and our eye muscles are the first to be affected by lack of amino acids.
So that's when you notice it, right? So then some days your eyesight might be real good, and other days you're driving along and you suddenly notice, I can't see those road signs as easy as yesterday. So that's to do with then you actually now you become conscious of your own hydrochloric acid levels in your stomach. They go up and down as well with your stress levels. So the solution to that, we always suggest more minerals, because it's lack of minerals creates low acid. And Help me, I did betaine HCl. I had a blonde moment
Well,
for a second.
betaine HCl is derived from the beetroot,
Yeah.
and that HCl part is hydrochloride, which is the hydrochloric acid,
Yeah.
in other words.
I think I had a blonde moment because we're out of betaine HCl at the moment. This, sometimes there's a glitch in
Production.
production, or we have to import it. We are always importing it from the US because they have this particular superior product. But we do have Proton Plus, which is very, very kind to your stomach.
Well, that's got betaine HCl as well as a few other things to help your stomach produce more hydrochloric acid itself.
So I confused myself because I always say betaine HCl, but Proton Plus is just as good. It also comes from America. It's like totally made to boost your stomach acid. Now the good news is a lot of people only have to boost their stomach acid for a while just to get the whole digestion cranked up again, and then off you go and it's restored itself, and you don't always have to have betaine HCl forever.
I did tests on a woman one time who came to me, and it showed that she would have been lacking hydrochloric acid in the stomach, so I recommended she take betaine HCl, and she got a warming sensation in her stomach the second week in, and that makes...
That's a sign.
That's a sign that you're making
enough
in your stomach. So she didn't need it that second week, and then the third week she was able to take it again, and she came back to me after 3 weeks, and I said, well, what was different in the weeks? And she said, well, I was at work the first week, I was on holiday the second week, and back at work the third week.
Yeah.
And she was able to relax. She was not as stressed in that second week, and her body was making
enough
hydrochloric acid again, because when we're stressed, our body doesn't make hydrochloric acid.
No, the digestion shuts down.
It disrupts the digestive process.
All right, so that is really the top end of your digestion, which is of course absolutely vital, right? So that's key. So now you know more than 99% of the world population. And then the second problem is that our bile gets too sticky. So remember I told you about bile in the gallbladder, and especially if you don't have a gallbladder, you absolutely need to make sure that you take bile salts, like in the form of ox bile. But for people who still have a gallbladder, most of us, our bile is too sticky. So that means all your little pipes are ganged up and it's goopy, and your body can't do its job properly either, right? And
doesn't run properly.
Yeah, often that causes diarrhea in people, irritable bowel, chronic disorders, inflammation, because it means your small and large bowel are on fire from your stomach acid that hasn't been neutralized by your bile.
The body says, get this out of here as quick as you can before it burns inside the bowel.
And that's very, very common as well. So we always recommend beach flow, which is excellent, right? It's like hard to get again. So, but we have it. So we recommend that you take 1 beach flow with every meal, and also don't drink too much water. Don't drink any water with your meal. Drink before your meal, and then your digestive juices are still intact. And we're talking about drinking water, not anything sweet or anything.
The other thing that really breaks the food down into the smallest possible particles are enzymes. Now, our pancreas produces enzymes that are mixed with the bile that hits the small bowel when the stomach empties, and those enzymes help break the food down as well. But our pancreas that produces the enzymes doesn't produce the enzymes that break down vegetables. So if we are eating vegetables that aren't fresh, they are devoid of enzymes. So
like super fresh, like you've just picked them.
Yeah. So if you don't take an enzyme that has cellulase, which is the enzyme to break down cellulose, which is the cell membrane of plant material, you won't get much out of the plants you're eating, out of the veggies you're eating. So enzymes turn my digestive system around after intolerances to different foods. And the vet introduced me to enzymes, and I started taking those, and my digestive system just improved outside. I could eat anything.
And you still do today? Huh?
Yeah, and so I recommend everyone take an enzyme mix with every meal, then the beet flow, and have a bit of extra betaine HCl.
Or Proton Plus.
Or Proton Plus to increase the fire in the stomach to digest the food properly.
So how do you know if you need all these products? Well, by the time your hair, skin and nails are bad, and I have like rashes on your body, these are like a long way down the line. So, but immediately, what's some of the immediate signs is that you feel tired after eating, you want to go to sleep, you're burping, bloating, gassy, you have pain in your body, of course diarrhea. These are all like, also a really good indicator if your bile is flowing or not is look at your poo, like the waste product that comes out of your body, and if it's too light, if it's lighter than cardboard, would you say, Peter?
Yeah.
Like it needs to be the color of the blind behind me, basically, to
or
be
darker,
healthy, or darker, right? Yeah. If it's light, it's sure sign your bile isn't flowing. And so that means you're also not digesting your fats, healthy fats. And your healthy fats contain vitamin A, D, E, even C. And we know that we have chronic, like low vitamin D, according to everyone. That's because people are not digesting their fats because of all the reasons that we have just explained. So Peter, now for vitamin D, we recommend that you just go outside for 10 days, 10 minutes a day, eat butter and meat fats, well, especially butter is really good for you.
And some people have come to us with anemia, so low iron levels, and we normally only lose iron if we bleed. So if you're not bleeding heavily and haven't bled and your iron levels are low, it's because you're not digesting, not breaking the food down properly.
And you have low stomach acid. Yeah.
To get the iron out of the food. That's the only reason. So crank up the digestive system and that'll improve.
So a health warning then from Peter and me. So we're not doctors, right? But we're here to tell you what we see. A health warning, you're not meant to take Nexium for longer than 5 days, let alone 3 weeks, let alone 5 years, or some people have been on Nexium or the likes, like similar products,
we've had clients who have been advised to stop Nexium because they have developed severe osteoporosis.
That's right.
Yeah.
Osteoporosis can also be reversed, so if that's you, please come and see us. We can show you a roadmap how to get your life back and how to regenerate your body in very, very quick time. If you don't have time to come and see us, please download free ebooks. This is also like super interesting. This is called the Ultimate Vitality Boost, which goes into details about what we talked about today. And it's an enjoyable read, right? And there's so many free ebooks there. You can download them all and spend a few nights reading them snuggled up near the fire, and then you're super informed because you need to know this stuff. We can tell you a lot more in more detail even when you come to us. Peter does this special full health audit, which goes over 90 minutes or 1.5 hours, where he looks at every part of your body to see what works well for you, but of course in particular what's not working for you, so that like a stitch in time saves 9, right?
It's areas where the cells make energy, and if our cells are making energy properly, they're getting the things to make energy properly, we work properly because we're made of trillions of cells.
Yeah.
And if they're working, we're working.
Alright, so Peter has tests and stuff, many different tests that he will do with you in the room that will give him a very clear picture, and it's really refreshing for you to know your own body really well. It's also, makes you feel empowered rather than feeling despairing and hopeless. And then
it's really an education session.
I know, and it's very personalized, and then you also get a roadmap how to look after your body, how to stay healthy, because this is really all about living a long life with your marbles and your mobility intact, so that you can be the awesome person that you are and be happy for as long as you can. and avoid all the pitfalls. And the pitfalls usually already start in your 30s. All right.
Or
younger.
Or a lot younger, actually.
Younger.
They start as soon as we started on solid food, in a way.
Maybe they start when you conceived.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so you get the picture. There's a lot you can do, right?
Yeah.
So thanks everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and showing up every week. And if you have any questions, do come and see us. We're open to see clients, and the shop is open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 5. Our friendly reception team is here to answer all your questions. So if you can pop in and say hello.
Yeah,
Also, our online shop is open, of course, all the times, 24/7.
The article attached at the bottom will probably explain it in
Also, there's a
clearer
questionnaire
detail.
here too, like so a self-quiz. I always love quizzes, so please spend some time filling in the questionnaire, and you're going to find it super interesting. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a really wonderful week, and
Have a good week.
see you next week.
Bye.